Hey everyone, thanks for clicking on this video. I'm just going to do a quick narration. So this is a 12 by 48. There's some pitting here. I'll show how it looked later on. Obviously some markings on the bottom. So I made these printouts, kind of taped them together. I suggest getting one of these cutting boards, by the way. I taped all these different ones together after I sized them. And it actually turned out pretty good. Then I took it off, put it onto graphite paper, put paper underneath, and then traced it onto the main paper. So now I have this paper for if I ever want to do the project again. Now I cut the board down to 24 inches. I used one piece of graphite paper and then just moved along as I traced this final part onto the wood, so I can reuse that paper whenever I want. The tracing came out actually pretty well. You don't have to like fill in the gaps. I kind of just left those marks just to help me remember where I can like shade and where I shouldn't. But overall it turned out nice. Then I set up my wood burner. Wood burn the outlines basically. I haven't wood burned in quite some time, so it took me a little longer than usual and to remember which proper tips to use and stuff like that. I had a lot of fun doing the gauntlet. Sauron actually was my favorite part of this project as far as the wood burning went. Now this is a shading tip. I'll just show you here how I do some basic shading. Now the heat in this scenario worked in the beginning, but then you can see right here it kind of stopped being as effective. So you want to turn the heat up higher to the point where it's glowing red like that. And then after a few like quick strokes, the tip of that will no longer be red, it'll be like brown, so that part isn't as hot, and then you have the perfect temperature to easily and quickly just shade everything in. Again, get it really hot, and you might get a couple sparks as you start, but I mean, overall, it's about having finesse and fine, like pressure to get the desired look. So there's partway through. Now I did this thing with armor on Sauron to make like chainmail, and I kind of discovered this on my own. I used the shading tip and just pressed down and it left these marks. I think it looks really, really great. I kind of actually, after I was done, realized that the chainmail is facing up and it should be facing down, but that's okay. There's the final thing. Now I did some shading below the lines. I've never really done that before either. And that's the final product, but I noticed something was missing in between, so I added in some of those like dragons and fell beasts from the movies. This was also my first time using Minwax pre-stain. I've actually never used pre-stain before. Actually, it looks really tasty. I had it raised up because it just makes it easier to do. And then you just apply the pre-stain like if you were staining. And it's easy to tell that you're putting it on because it does darken the wood a little. Let that sit for 8 minutes. This is the stain that I went with. It's my favorite that I've used on many projects I've done. And then just brush it on. You know, rather thick, not too much, but enough. And then just back and forth across. Looks really, really rich. I just love this color. Obviously do the sides of the board as well. And that's how it looked after I put the stain on it. I let the stain sit for 6 minutes and then I wiped it up with a foam brush. Then I let it air dry for 45 minutes, and this is what it looks like when the stain is in. Now there's that pitting I talked about at the beginning. I put a second coat of stain on and I let it sit for like 2 minutes. Again, 45-minute dry time. And it came out a little darker. Now I use polyurethane clear semi-gloss. I've used this before in my projects. I love it. It comes out really nice. So I did 3 coats, then I used some sandpaper, 400 grit, It leaves these white like marks, which is fine. Just round it over with a dry paper towel, and then put your final coat of polyurethane on. Brush it both ways. Let it dry for 24 hours. Then I put these little things on the back and the hanger, and this is the result. I think it came out really nice. If I was to do it again, I would do it a little brighter. I probably wouldn't put that second coat of stain on, but I still think it looks absolutely amazing. So thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this.